regal and also substantial about porcelain. Porcelain has been highly prized, starting first in Europe well over 1,000 years ago. And porcelain can only be created in smaller geographical locations where Mother Nature provided the perfect clay in the ground and the perfect quantity of clear water nearby. This is Valerie's 11-inch illuminated porcelain tree with the bows. The first thing I'll state again is everything you see here is individually hand painted. So that's going to be the red bows, the greenery on the tree itself, the pine cones. Just, it's staggering how long it must have taken the artisans to paint each one. Then you add 2 AA batteries into the bottom, and you've got something that actually lights up. If you look closely, there are little niches that are carved out in the shape of stars. And that light shines from behind. That's a fun piece. Kathy, where would an individual put this in their home? Where would you recommend?
Well, you know, Valerie always says that trees are the way that you complete a scene. So like those 3 little Santa Clauses that we just got a chance to play with and that you love so much, this would complete the scene if you had that trio out. Or if you had little villages, like a house of villages that you collect over the years, this would help complete the scene. If you want to have it just by itself, because you have that little bit of light that's coming out, maybe it's going to go on the hutch or maybe on a shelf in the kitchen. I even like this just anywhere that you need glow. I have a couple of places in my house that are a little too dark that I can't get a light plugged in. So I like to keep something there that is flameless, that's going to give me light, that's going to come back on night after night for me. So this will do that. As you mentioned, it's hand painted. And when you look, you can see that deep in the tree, we used a darker green. And then as we came to the tips of the boughs, Valerie went with a lighter green on the tips of the boughs. What you're seeing in there also are red bows and pine cones. I love that you got to point out that the piercings, that the light is actually shining through our stars. Thank you, Valerie. What a sweet idea that was. So when you ask where this can go, it's that sweet little accent that's going to look nice wherever you walk it around when you get this home and you start walking around. It's going to match in nicely just really anywhere that you want to place it.
We don't present them as such, but in many ways, everything that Valerie and her team brings to us is a limited edition because of how many man hours it takes for the artisans to create each and every one of them. And Valerie, you had said, it's crazy. It's not yet Christmas 2022, but Valerie is very much working full time on things for Christmas 2023. She's more than a year out in advance. So when we get to a point where we're limited, how many do we have of these, Sean? Sean's my producer this morning. We have about 2,300 left of them. Today's the first day that they've ever been priced at $18.22. Our QVC price, again, I still think was very reasonable at $24.29. But then you would add in the $5.50 of shipping and handling, and you'd be looking at about a $30 item. Now you're looking at an $18.22 item to get it to your home. And still telling you, if you want 5 months in which to pay for it, feel free to do so. So that's $3.64 a month. You know, this is an opportunity to be able to possibly pick up a few for each member of the family. Knowing that my family is 600 miles away from where I live, Kathy, that each of us have kind of the same matching decoration for a dining room table or for the kitchen, or like you were talking, the powder room where you need a little extra light. I like the idea that all of us have something that Valerie made.
Yes, and I like the idea of it being something that is done in porcelain, that is hand painted. It's a nice quality piece. Does it remind you of maybe pieces that were made back in the 70s, like something that your mom or your grandmother would have made? When I was growing up, my grandmother had porcelain pieces that she made herself. Well, I guess they were probably ceramic.
Ceramic, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody in the 70s went to a ceramic class, but it takes an artisan to work with porcelain.
Yes.
Because porcelain starts, it's got to be a natural clay, and depending upon where the foundry or where the studio is, it determines the color of the clay. And they liquefy it with water, and they pour it into a mold. It's called slip. Then they have to fire it. Then they take it out, they fettle it, which means get all the little open areas done. Then they have to glaze it. Then they have to refire it again. Then they have to paint it and refire it. Porcelain is extremely time-consuming to do right, and everything that Valerie does, she does correctly. It's a beautiful piece. Kathy, we've got some cool stuff for angel lovers coming up, don't we?
We sure do. A very unique angel coming up.
This next piece is